Okay, then good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Vivek, Mithilesh, Suman, Arbaz, JD, Dexter. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. And I welcome you all to this day three of this JavaScript Essential program. I hope all of you are good. And sorry for the delay, guys. There was some technical issue. Actually, I came live, but then something happened. Okay, so sorry for that delay, everyone. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, Colorado. Good evening, Manoj. Good evening, Mohammed, Shanu. Good evening, Revanya. Okay, so first of all, I welcome all of you to day three. And guys, as I said yesterday, day three is the most important day of all the 5 days, even bigger than the project, because today we are learning two of the most important concepts in JavaScript or basically in any programming language, because these concepts actually help you to work with data. And in digital world, in online world, in websites, in apps, everything is all about data. You're simply transferring data from here to there to here. That's what mainly we are doing every time. And these two things that we're going to learn today play the most important role in data holding and data transferring online, offline, in basically networks and all that stuff. Okay, so then let's go ahead. But before we move ahead to that, okay, first of all, I'll tell you what exactly today's agenda is. So first of all, like we have left for loop, right? Yesterday we learned about while, do while. Then we understood what exactly is the difference between let and var. Okay. So today's agenda is first to complete for loop. It will be easy because we have already seen while and do while. So I hope it will be easy. Secondly, we'll move ahead and start learning something called as arrays and objects. And this is what makes today's session so important. This is what we are going to learn today. And after that, if we get time, we are also going to move ahead to something called as functions. So these are the things I'm planning to cover for today: for loops, arrays and objects, and functions. And don't worry, I remember I have to put a poll. So yes, I have already given options to the mod, and they will be putting the poll in some time. Okay, I have selected the projects based on the time we will get to build it. Okay, so don't worry, it will be online in some time. And for all the new people who are here, please register for the course. Okay, and at least you should mark attendance for 3 days to get your certificate. Okay, and don't worry, wait for the quiz winner, because we'll be announcing that at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. Yes, functions as well, exactly. So for all the guys who don't know functions, don't worry, in some time we'll reach to that, and then you'll understand what exactly is a function and how it works. So first of all, yesterday we saw how while works, and then we also saw how do while works, right? First of all, let me remove this. Okay, and yeah, let's run this page as well. So let me get a browser window. Yep, here we go. Paste it. Okay, cool. So yesterday we saw how your do while loop works, right? This is what we basically saw yesterday. So if I make it 1 again, it will simply print 1 to 10. That's what we saw, right? And we understood that while is an entry control loop and do while is an exit control loop. Okay, guys, you can see the poll is live. So please go ahead, select your poll, and we'll try to make a really good design thing. So I'm at least okay, fine. You guys select whatever you want. I'm not going to suggest anything. Select whatever you want. We'll make that. Don't worry about that. Okay. So let me close it. Okay. Now then, let's go ahead, guys. Okay. For just fill it fast. Just do it faster and let's move ahead. So now yesterday we discussed that while is an entry control loop. That means it checks the condition first and then executes the statement. And do while is an exit control loop. That basically means it first executes the statement and then moves ahead and checks the condition. And we saw working of both of them, right? Now today, let's go ahead and discuss for. And we'll also try to understand why it is one of the most used loops. We have three loops, but for is one of the most loved and used loops all around the world in all the languages. Why? Let's see that. Okay. So first of all, the syntax. Now see, guys, when you write a while loop or a do while loop, how do you work in that case? Right? In that case, you have to initialize a variable first outside, then your do block, and then somewhere you write while and your condition. If it is a while loop, then also you have to initialize your variable somewhere, right? Like this, let num equal something like that. And then you again write while, and here goes your condition, right? And then inside this, you write your code and also your increment decrement statement. That's the syntax, right? So you perform initialization somewhere else. That is one of the most important things in loop. Then you perform your block, okay, or maybe you first check your condition, right? Whatever it is, you first check your condition and then perform the code. But there are three very important aspects in a loop. Initialization of a variable, because if there is no variable, you can't check your condition. So you need data for that. Then condition checking is again very important in a loop. We have seen that yesterday. And then increment decrement is very important so that the loop can run that many number of times. So there are three main aspects of a loop: initialization, that starts, condition, that basically checks if the loop should run or not, and increment decrement, that basically decides how many times the loop will run. Okay. So what for loop does is it says no need to do things here and there. In my syntax, you can initialize the variable, also just put a semicolon, you can write the condition, also put a semicolon, and you can also mention your increment decrement statement in the same line. That's what for loop does for you. And guys, understand that for loop works exactly like while loop. That means it is also an entry control loop. But the only difference is the syntax. Every important aspect of a loop, like initialization, condition, and increment statement, comes in a single line. And that's what makes it better. Because now, let's say you write a normal while loop. Okay. Now, if you write your while loop and your condition is here, right? And let's say now inside this, you have a very big code, around 1,000 lines of code. And then after that, you have your increment statement. So in that case, you have to again go up and down, up and down, up and down to check your condition or to check your increment statement back or to check your initialization. You have to go up and down a lot of times. That's where for loop comes. It says that all the important aspects are at one place. At any point of time, you can check it. At any point of time, you can change it. It will be very, very easier to manage. So working wise, guys, it works exactly like while loop, but syntax wise, it looks very beautiful and simple, and everything is at one place. That's it. That's the difference between while and for. Okay. Now then, let's go ahead and just perform console.log. Now see, first of all, let me just tell you how it works. So again, same thing, initialization. So num will become 1. Then it will check the condition. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Come inside, execute the code, and after this, it goes back to increment. Okay, fine. Perform plus plus. And then again check the condition. Again come inside, execute the code, again perform plus plus. Until unless the condition is false. Exactly like while loop. Let me show you, or let's just print this num so that it's more understandable. And there was already output. So let me just first of all comment this so that I can show you that it's actually the for loop. See, there's nothing. Now, here we go. Very, very simple stuff. That's how your for loop works, guys. So everyone, are we cleared? Quickly tell me so that we can move ahead to the more important topic today. But this was also important. But now you know, because you already know how while loop works. So no issues in this, right? Everyone? Okay, I can see music player has got the most votes. It's 60%. Okay, when we start dome, maybe today or maybe tomorrow, because today two more important concepts are there, like arrays and objects. To understand dome, you should also know arrays and objects, because a lot of things will come as arrays and objects when we start working with dome. That's why it's very important. So yes, maybe today at the end or tomorrow in the start only we'll start with dome. Okay, what about hosting? I searched but got okay. No issues, no issues. Wait for some time, wait for some time. No issues. Let's first complete this basic concepts and then I'll definitely let you know. Don't worry, buddy. Okay, guys, all clear with for loop? Now then, let's move ahead to one of the most important concepts in any programming language, or particularly in JavaScript, that is arrays. Now, guys, I've seen a lot of people struggling with arrays. They always feel that arrays are very difficult, and one of that was me as well. I also used to get frightened from arrays in my starting days. Arrays was very tough for me as well. But once I understood it properly, then I got to know that how easy it is. So exactly like that. Don't worry about it. If you have ever read arrays and you found it tough, don't worry about that. Today we are going to make it easier, because it is one of the most easiest things to learn in programming. So let's go. So first of all, a real definition. What exactly is an array in reality? An array is nothing but a collection of elements of same type. That's it. Collection of elements of same type, you can also say in a sequence, can be considered as an array. For example, collection of students, collection of boys, collection of girls, collection of screens, collection of keyboards. Anything, if that is a collection and it is basically presented in a sequence, that can be considered as a array. That's all. That's it. An array is a collection of elements of same type. In digital world, in programming, you cannot have keyboards and screens. You know that, right? Here we only have data. So it can be collection of numbers, collection of strings, collection of what do you say, booleans. It can be any kind of data. So basically, collection of data of same type is an array in programming language. That's odd. That's ill. What am I saying? That's all. That's it. See? Okay. But this is not it. There is one more advantage of an array. I'll tell you what. So now let's say you are planning, okay, you are planning to store five people's age, okay, in variables. So in that case, you have to create five variables like this: age 1, age 2, age 3, age 4, like this. You have to create five variables to store five people ages. This is where array comes, because you know that age is going to be a number. It's the same kind of data. So why to store it in five different variables? Because when you create an array, you create a single variable. Coding wise, technically, you only create a single variable that can hold multiple values. That's where arrays are best, because it's like this, because array is a collection. So you can store multiple values at one place. If you create five different variables, that it will be very hard to maintain, because think, in future you might have 10 ages, you might have 20 ages, you might have 50 ages. You're not going to create 50 different variables for it, right? Because it will be very tough to maintain. If someone wants that data, you have to send them 50 things, right? Coding wise, it will be very hard to write and maintain. That's where array comes. Programmatically, it helps you to store all your data at one place in a single variable. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's what an array is. Array is nothing but a collection of elements of same type. In programming, it helps you to store multiple data at a single place so that it's easier to maintain, easier to share. That's it. Arrays hold different values. Rishabh, I don't think it's allowed everywhere, because if you go in all the other programming languages like Java and C, they don't allow you to do that. JavaScript is the one that allows it, because JavaScript is a loosely typed language. They don't force too much on types. But if you go in languages like C and C++, there you will find out that you create an array, you have to give it a type like int, boolean, string, and you can only store that kind of data in that, right? So that's how it is, Rishabh. Okay, guys, so let's move ahead. Let's go. So how to create an array in JavaScript? Very simple. Create a variable, call it anything. Let me call it names, equals to square brackets. Square bracket is something that denotes array in all the programming languages. So just put square brackets and that's it. Now inside this, you can just go ahead and put as many data as you want. Like for example, I can go and write my name, Saurabh. Let's say I write few more names from the chat. So let's go. Utpal, Rishabh. I'm writing whatever I'm seeing, guys. Whatever I'm seeing right now. Pawan. So something like this. So now names is a single variable, but it is holding four different values. That's what array is. If we don't have array, we have to store four different names in four different variables. But here we are storing all of them at a single place. That is the best part. Is that clear, guys? Okay. But now the case is, if I'm storing all the four values at a single place, then how am I going to access if I want to access a single value from that? So again, very, very easy. So just like guys see, in normal world, when you arrange something in a sequence, if you want something from that sequence, you give it a number, right? For example, if there are five bicycles in front of you, and if you want to tell someone that I want this bicycle, so you'll tell him, right? Okay, give me the fifth one, give me the fourth one, give me the third one. So you basically allot everything in a number so that it's easier for you to tell, okay, give me the third one, give me the first one, give me the fifth one. Just like that, when you arrange your data in an array, every element that you create in an array has an index number. Has what? Index number. It's just like numbering. So like this is going to be one, something like that. But the fact is that in arrays, the numbering or the indexing starts from zero. So basically, the first element is not number one, it is number zero. That's it. Just understand that. The first element is not number 1, it's number 0. So this element is on 0th position. This element is on first position. This element is on second, and this element is on third. That's what you have to remember. That's it. So now let me see if I can access anything. So how to access an array's value? Very simple. Write the array name. So see, if I write the full array name, you'll see that it prints everything. It prints the whole array, right? I want any one value. So let's say I want Saurabh, and you know that Saurabh is at the first position, human wise, but programming wise, it's at 0th position. So to access it, just go ahead in your array name, put a square bracket, and just put the index number. So give me names of 0. That means from the names array, give me the element that is on 0th index or 0th number, whatever you'd like to call it. Save it, and here we go. Saurabh. And just like that, if I want to access, let's say Utpal, I'll go for 1. See, if I want to access Rishabh, sorry guys, if I have misspelled any of the names, don't worry. I have read it, but sorry for if I have misspelled any of the names. Okay, 2. And then just like that, I can also go for 3. And you'll see I have all the names. That's it. That's all. Now, what if I try some index that is not there? Because see, now in this case, I know that, okay, fine, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. There is no 4. But what will happen if I try 4? For example, I go here and put 4. In that case, you'll get undefined. That means there is no data. It is not even defined. It's not even created. That's why undefined. That means I don't know what is this because that's not even there. And just like that, if I try -1, you'll again see you get undefined because also there is nothing at that place. Is it cleared? Is semicolon compulsory in JS? No, it is not mandatory. It is not compulsory. Okay, but it's a good habit. Just keep, because that's why JS allows it. It's not mandatory, but it's a good habit to put it. Why you should put it? Because you're not only going to work with JS in future, you might also work with some other languages. So you'll have a good habit if you keep putting semicolon, because JS might allow it, not putting, but if you go anywhere else, they might not allow it. So you'll have a habit and you'll mess up. That's why just put it so that you'll have a good habit. That's it. Okay. That's why I always put it. Sometimes I also forget in JS, but that's fine. But if I see that I have forgotten somewhere, I put it. I want to keep a good habit for myself. That's why. So everyone, are we cleared with how arrays are created? And remember guys, it can be anything, not only this string, it can be anything. It can also store numbers like 23, 45, 67, 89. Just like that. See that? Again, let me just make it back string. Okay. Now, is high -1 present in array? No, Shweta, no. It's not present in here. You saw that I've shown you that it was undefined. So no, it's not. It starts with 0. Exactly. It will always start with 0 special. Okay. Cool, guys. Let's move ahead now. Now you'll see one very, very important thing here, that because I had 4 values, I wrote it 4 times. So what if I have 20 values? Am I going to write it 20 times? What if I have thousands of values in my array? That means arrays sort one of my problem, that is storing data at one place, but they don't solve the other problem. Like if my array is having 20,000 values, am I going to write 20,000 times? No. And now here comes the importance of what we learned yesterday. We learned something called as loops, right? And loops were what? If you want to execute a similar kind of code again and again, multiple times, you can always go for loop. So here we go. You can see that this code is almost kind of similar. You're writing the same code again and again. And there is only one change, that is this number. I think our number can help in that, because you also saw that that was going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly. So we can use loops to travel through array and print all the values. So let's convert this into a loop based print. Let's do that. And for this, guys, I'm going to be using a for loop. You can use while loop, you can use do while loop, you can use any kind of loop you want. Okay, let me first show you with while loop. Can we store 23 name 46 or in array? Yes, creator. JavaScript allows that. Yes. But normally you should not do that. But yeah, JS allows that. So let's go, guys. Let me do it with while first. So let's call it n equals 1, normal. Now, I know that I want to print it 4 times. Guys, please focus, everyone. I know that I want to print it 4 times. Okay. So I'll say that my loop should run while n is less than equal to 4. Right? Now my loop will run 4 times. I can see that my loop will definitely run 4 times. Correct? Because it's starting with 1 and going till 4. And now in here, I can just do console.log names of 0. But in this case, guys, for all the new people, for all the people who know, I know it's very easy, but for all the new people, please focus how we are getting to the solution. So first thing, I know that, okay, fine, I have to run my loop 4 times because there are 4 things in my array. You can see I have written 4 times. That means I have to run my loop 4 times. Fine. So if n starts with 1 and goes till 4, it will definitely run 4 times. But the problem is, if I just do console.log names of 0, and now even if this loop runs 4 times, it will only print names of 0 4 times. You can see that. Saurabh, 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 4 times. That's an issue. How can I say, like, how can I tell my console.log or my loop that no, every time you should not have 0? Make it 1 next time, make it 2 next time, make it 3 next time. How can I say that? So you know that there is a variable that is actually going with that. There is a variable that is going with 0, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your n. So I can put my n here instead of 0. So now initially n is 1. Fine. 1 is less than 4. Correct. Console.log names of n. That is names of 1. But again, there is one problem. That names of 1 is Utpal. That means Saurabh will not be printed. And that's bad. So I also want 0. So there is no restriction in that. You don't have to always start your loop with 1. No. You can say that n, I want you to start with 0 because my index starts from 0, then 1, then 2, and then 3. Correct? So I'll tell, okay, fine, go only till 3. From 0 till 3. That means 4 times. And also, now you will play a very important role in my indexing. And here we go. That's it. That's how you do it, everyone. Is it cleared, guys? All the new people, are we cleared with this? Everyone. Now, there is one more important thing. In future, I might go and add a few more things in here, like let's say Thor. So in future, my array might get bigger. Now my array is having 6 elements. So am I going to go ahead and just update it here to 5 again? That means every time my array updates, I have to come here and do this. What if I don't want to do it? Right? What if I don't want to do it? Just remove the equal sign. No, Rishabh, we can't. If we do less than 4, then, but I have to go till 3, right? So if I want to go till 3, then less than equal to 3. Correct? Less than 4 is also fine. Exactly. You have to reach till 3. Now either you go less than equal to 3 or you go less than 4. It's 3 at the end. So guys, in this case, the problem is if my array grows in future, I have to go and make changes in code again. So how can I do this? Like, even if the array grows, I don't have to make any changes. How can I do that? So in that case, you have a property. There is a property for an array. So let me show you that first. Console.log. You can write any array name, that is names, and you can just do dot length, and that will give you the size of the array. That basically means the number of the elements inside the array. In this case, it is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But now that might create a problem because let's say now if I do it here, n is less than equal to names dot length. Now it will go from less than equal to names dot length. But if you see, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means array's last index is always 1 less than the length, because length of the array is 6. There are 6 elements in the array, but my last index is always 5. So I always want to go till 5, not till 6. So in this case, either you can do less than names dot length, because names dot length is 6. So n should be less than 6. That means 5 should be the highest value. Or I can do less than equal to names dot length, that is 6 minus 1. That again becomes 5. So again, totally up to you guys. Nothing is wrong. Either you do this or you do this. That's it. Whatever you like, you can do that. Is it clear to everyone? So now in future, even if the array updates or if this array is dependent on something else, let's say the array data is coming from satellite, no need to worry. You don't have to go in your loop or in your code and change again. No need to do that because it will happen on the spot because you've already written names.length. It will pick it up. Okay. Cool, everyone. That's how you travel your array with loops. And now arrays are here to solve all the problems that you have. Okay. Now, one last thing. Let's use a for loop actually, because for loop is very, very easy to work with an array. So let's go ahead and use a for loop. Okay. As I said, because in future our code might get bigger and I don't want to go up and down. So for loop is a very good loop to use with arrays always. How do you decide when to use while loop or for loop? I'll tell you, Techno. So whenever I feel that, see, mostly I use for loop for all my tasks. But let's say if my initialization is gonna come from somewhere else, or it is depending on some other program, then I go for while loop. Okay, because in my for loop I initialize always inside the bracket. In my while loop I don't have to initialize it there. I can initialize anywhere else and then use it. So if my initialization is going to happen somewhere else, I can go for while loop. If I'm working with arrays and lists and structures, I go for loop. And if I want to ever execute my code first before checking any condition, I go for do while loop. So that's how I decide. Normally, it's personal opinion, guys. I don't know if someone else also does this, but that's how I normally do that. So you'll also learn, you'll also gain experience, and you'll also understand like when to use what. So you'll get it slowly, slowly. Don't worry about that. Okay. So let's go, guys. Let's go, everyone. Let's use a for loop for this. So same for, but in for, you initialize here. So let's go. Let n equals 0. N is less than names dot length and n plus plus. And then simply console.log names of n. So names of 0, names of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should be it. Same output. See that, guys? So it looks very clean, right? For loop also looks very clean. So that's why it's also one of my preferences to work with it. But now, if you're in JavaScript, a lot of times you might also not be using for loop. There are a few advanced looping functions also available, like map and for each. I cannot show you everything because we don't have that much time, but at least I'll show you one function. But before that, we have to understand something called as functions. That's why I'm waiting for that topic. Once we are done with functions, then we can move ahead, and also I can show you either for each or map, any one of that. Don't worry. While loop is mostly used for if you want to run a condition in loop, then we use that. And in for loop, we do exactly Skyrit. Exactly. And see, it's not a fixed thing. Everyone has their own things in it. Everyone likes to use loop in their own way, so it's completely fine. Names of n means, I think Chins, you just joined, buddy. Okay, no issues, I'll tell you. So names of n means, you can see n is 0. So names of n means names of 0. That means this value. And then n will increment, n will become 1. Okay, and since this is a loop, it will run multiple times. So if this runs again, now names of 1, that means Utpal. Then again n will increment, it will become 2. So in that case, names of 2, names of 3. It goes like that. Is that cleared, everyone? Perfect. Can we go ahead, guys? Are we cleared with arrays, everyone? Can we move to the next topic? Please tell me, because we are moving to something else. So first of all, tell me, are we cleared with arrays? Everyone, come on, quickly answer me. I'm waiting for your answers, everyone. Come on. And guys, one more thing, don't always call it n. It's up to you. You can call it anything. You can also call it I. Like I is a very famous keyword that people use in loops. So you can also call it I instead of n. Why I do n? Because I'll tell you, because when people go online, they always see I. So in their mind, it's like I is a fixed word. That's why I always do n to make them understand that I is not necessary. I also use I, but while teaching, I never use I. I use n or something else. So that first you understand that I is not fixed. It's just a variable name. Okay, cool, perfect. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's go ahead, everyone. So arrays are done. Now don't worry, we'll also move to few complicated arrays in some time. Yes, Ankit. I'll also show you a few methods. I cannot show you all array methods. So I'll definitely show you a few methods. But for all that, we have to first learn functions. So let's move ahead to functions in some time and then I can come back to array functions. Okay. Now, guys, the next very, very important topic that we have in JavaScript, that is gonna be a object. Okay. So let's talk about what exactly is an object in JavaScript, because JavaScript is completely built around objects. Everything in JavaScript is an object. So it's very important to understand what exactly is an object. Okay. So see, guys, I'm gonna keep it very normal. Okay. So an object is nothing but it's again collection of properties. An object in JavaScript is nothing but a collection of properties that are holding some values. Just like array is a collection of elements, array is also a collection of data, object is also a collection of data. But array is a collection of data of same type. An object can be a collection of data of different type. An object is a collection of data of different type that signifies something, or you can say that what do you say, implies to something. That's what an object is. An object is nothing but a collection of properties. In real world, an object can be anything. So let me give you an example. Let me just give you an example. Think of myself as an object. Okay. I am a human object. How do you know I am a human object? You know I'm a human object because of my properties. I have two eyes, I have two hands, I have two legs, right? I can talk, I can walk. That's how you understand I am a human object. So first of all, guys, anything in this world is an object. And to know what kind of object it is, you have to understand what properties it is having. How do you know something is a keyboard object? You see, it's a big, wide, colored thing. It is having a lot of buttons, and if you type, it does something. So you know, right? So an object is nothing but a collection of properties. That's it, which signifies something. It's very important. Which signifies something. An object is always going to signify something. If in your code your object is not signifying something, or your object is not meaning something, that means you're doing something wrong, or maybe you're temporarily using some dummy object. An object is always going to signify something. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say we are planning to maintain student data. Okay. So now, how do you know if someone is a student? They will have these properties, right? Class, roll number, right? Subjects, marks, rank. These are some properties of a student object. Okay, so let me show you. First of all, how do you create an object in JavaScript? Guys, don't worry. For all the people who are not understanding it by definition, you will understand it by seeing at it. So don't worry. Just wait for a few more minutes. Okay, so let's go, guys. First of all, how to create an object in JavaScript? Very simple. Let any name, again variable name. So let me just call it st equals. You have to use curly braces here. You have to use curly braces. Always remember that. Okay. And now inside this, you can mention as many properties as you want for that particular object. Now let me show you how to do it. Let student, let's say my object name is student, equals curly braces, and now I can put roll number as my property, and then colon, give any value to it, like 21. Like that, I can have class as a property, and I can give it a value of, let's say, 10th, like that. Or maybe you can call it standard, right? Something like that. You can have, what do you say, city for that particular student. I can say Mumbai. Now, focus, guys. Again, please focus. Now, let's say what objects are actually doing in your code now. Focus. Now, think of it like this. Let's say you want to maintain data of 10 students. You want to maintain data of 10 students. Okay. Now, if you don't have concepts of objects, you will definitely create. So let's say you want to maintain data of 10 students, and every student is having roll number, standard, and city. So for one student, you will be creating three variables. Correct? For one student, you will be creating three variables. And for 10 students, you will be creating 30 variables. 30 different variables. Now, just understand how hard it will be to maintain 30 different variables, right? In which you don't know which belongs to what. You have to give a proper naming like name 1, roll number 1, standard 1, city 1. I also forgot the name. Let me just mention at least name here. But I just saw it, right? Something like this. Okay. So you have to create name 1, roll number 1, standard 1, city 1, name 2, roll number 2. So you always have to deal it with like this. And that's where objects come. They help you to place a particular set of data at a single point. Like for example, this name, roll number, standard, city is placed inside a single area, inside a single unit. And that's why now it will be very easy to read and understand. That's what objects actually do. Definition wise, what it was, guys, it's just a collection of properties which is signifying something. But coding wise, now you know it's a place where a collection of data can sit in a single unit, and now it can be accessed, easily accessed via this name. It can be transferred, it can be used via this name. That's what objects are really doing. They are helping you to maintain different kind of data that belong to single unit in a single unit. And just like that, now I can do this. At least let's say this is student 1. I can create let student 2 like this. It can also have a name, like let's say Utpal. It can also have a roll number, like let's say 24. It can also have standard, like let's say 12th, something like that. It can also have city, like let's say, I don't know, just putting any city, New York, something like that. Yes. So guys, that's how you do it. So object is nothing but a collection of properties that signify something. Why I'm saying that signify something? Because these all properties belong to a single user, belong to a single student. That's why I'm like telling always that object is something that belongs to a single unit. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, so an object is nothing but a collection of properties and values. Okay, and all the properties belong to a single unit. That's what an object is. And in JavaScript, an object helps you to maintain data in a very easier way. Now if you don't have objects, these will be 4 different variables, these will be 4 different variables, and you have to name them properly. Here it's not like that. Here every data is properly at place, and naming convention is also very good, because you don't have to name it name 1, name 2, name 3. You named it name, it is also name here. It's like that. Is that clear, everyone? All set? Understood what exactly is an object? Now see, there is a more to it, but when you work with object oriented programming like classes and objects, but that's how normally you write objects in JS. Very basic way. Now then, what if I want to access any property to get the value? How can I do that? Let me call it student. What if I want to access any property to get that particular value? Okay. So how can I do that? So guys, first of all, remember the syntax. A name and then curly braces, and inside that property colon value. See, this property is nothing, it's just like a variable, but now it belongs to someone. It is signifying something. Okay, so a property is just like a variable, but you don't initialize it like a variable. You never use equal to inside object, always use colon. So property colon value and then comma if you want to write the next property. If there is no next property, you can ignore the comma. So property colon value comma, next property colon value comma, next property colon value comma, just like that. That's it. Now then, if you want to access any of the property, you have to do this. Console.log student, first of all the object name, and then dot any property. You can see the hints coming, right? City, name, roll number. What do you want to access? I want to see its name. So show me student dot name. Show me student's name. Are you getting it, guys? How it is simplifying your data maintenance? How it is simplifying your data maintenance now? Tell us, sir, can we use arrays on object? Yes, you can. I'm going to show you that. Don't worry. This is not the end of objects. Now we're going to dive deep in this. Don't worry. Okay, so guys, all cleared? So again, let me get the definition back so that you understand it in a more better way now. For all the people who have missed something, an object is nothing but a collection of properties. Okay, and if I tell you in programming, it's nothing but collection of data of different types. Like you can see string, number, everything is there. Exactly, it is similar to a structure. Exactly, Chetan. Exactly. So an object is nothing but collection of properties, and all those properties are wrapped in a single unit, and they belong to something. They are an instance of something. So in this case, it is an instance of a student, and I can create multiple students. And programmatically, they help you to maintain your data in a better way by wrapping multiple things for a single unit in a single unit. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So now, just like that, I can do student.name, student.roll number, student.standard, student.city, anything. Okay. Now, the best part is, let me show you one more thing. Let's say, guys, please focus. Alpesh is again asking what is log. Don't worry. Today I'll explain log because I'm waiting for that concept of functions. I just don't want to tell you that log is a function because that will not make any sense. So first of all, let me explain you what is a function. Then I promise you will definitely understand what is log. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Fine now, guys. Please focus on the next thing. Okay. Now this is a very plain object, very simple object. Okay. Now let's say I also want to store the hobbies of students. I also want to store the hobbies of a student. Okay. But I know that hobbies can be multiple, guys. Hobbies can be multiple, right? See, guys, always remember that properties are nothing but variables only. Properties are nothing but variables only. So this hobbies is a variable. But now I can have multiple hobbies. So have we learned something where we can store multiple things at one place? Everyone, where we can store multiple things at one place? Arrays, right? So hobbies can be an array, and I can store like that. I can store, let's say, cricket, singing, whatever it is, swimming, all that stuff, just like that. So name is a string, roll number is a number, standard is a string, city is a string, and hobbies is an array of string. So now I can just go and write student dot hobbies, and you will see it prints an array. So if student dot hobbies is an array, so guys, if I want to access any one of it, like cricket or singing or swimming, what should I do, guys? How do you access a particular value of an array? By the index number. So student dot hobbies is an array. So I can just go ahead in front of it and I can just put, okay, give me the 0th element, that is going to be cricket. Give me the first element, that is going to be singing. Give me the second element, swimming. And if I want, I can also apply a loop on that. So hobbies is an array. It's not a free array outside. No, it's basically an array inside student object. That's why just to access that array, I have to go like student.hobbies. Is it cleared, everyone? How do you access normal array? It's simply outside. So you access it normally. But here, this array is inside. It's a part of a student. So, yep. So what if we have more than one record? I'll show you, Rohan. Don't worry. In some time. Don't worry. Can we use loop to execute all the properties? Yes, but normally we don't do that because those are not same values, right? It's possible. Suraj Kanta, it's possible, but the thing is, all of them are different properties, and you might want to use all of them at different places. Like you want to display name here, you want to display roll number here, you want to display standard somewhere here on the page. So normally we avoid loops. Normally there is no use of loops to loop through properties. Only sometimes it is needed, right? So why using dot in between student and name? That's how you access the property. That's what we learned, right? Just few minutes back. So object name dot any of its property. That's how you access it. Is it cleared, JD? If you don't put dot, you cannot access it. See, only if I put dot. So which property now you want? I want name. So student dot name. So if you want to access any property, dot is very important. Is it cleared, guys? All good, everyone? Now let's make again this object normal. Okay, normal. Now let's say what if, guys, please focus. If you understand the next concept, arrays and objects are forever clear to you. If you understand the next concept, arrays and objects are forever clear to you. I can promise you that. Okay, let's go. Now this is a student object. Perfect, cool, amazing. Okay, we can directly add console.log student hobbies. Yes, exactly, Hitesh. Yes, you can do that, Hitesh. Completely fine, buddy. Okay. Now let's talk about what if I have multiple students to maintain? Focus, guys. What if I have multiple students to maintain? So am I going to do this? Student one, right? Then I can create just like that. I can create student number two, right? It can also have some name like 24, 12th. I don't know. Raipur. I think I saw someone writing this. Okay, just like that. Student number three. Okay, let's say Hemant, 34. Let's say Masters, something like that. Pune. Okay. So now if you see this, fine. Object is solving one issue. Object is solving one issue, that is, you can, right, put multiple data that belongs to a single unit in a single unit, and you can give it a name, and you can easily access any one of it. And it is also solving your naming convention issue. That is, you can put the same naming convention inside every object. But now, because you have multiple objects, you're at giving all the objects a different name. I hope you don't mind. I'm calling you Derek. Okay. So sorry. Okay. Fine. It might be a normal chat. Okay. No issues, guys. Okay. Fine. So you can see there is still one problem, that I am giving my object different names, and that's fine because that's what I have to do here. Now in this case, if I want to access student one, I have to remember that console.log student1.name. If I want to access student two name, I have to go console.log student2.name. If I want to access student number three's name, I have to do student3.name. Right, everyone? Is that cleared, guys? So that's how it goes. But now, if you see this again, okay, properly see everyone. If you see this again, that these are all student data, and all of them have same kind of data. So guys, can I call it similar kind of data? Everyone, please tell me quickly. Can I call it similar kind of data? This, all of them have same kind of data, right? So definitely I can call it a similar kind of data, right? So now if all of this is similar kind of data, what have we learned? Where can we store similar type of data? So instead of storing all the objects which are similar to each other in different variables, I can do this. See, I can create an array, call it students, and inside that array I can store this object, comma, the next element, this object, comma, the next element, this object, and that's it. Now all my objects are actually inside an array, and we have also solved the naming issue. Now there is an array called as students, and inside that array there are three elements. First element is also an object, second element is also an object, and third element is also an object. And that is what you call as array of objects, Chetan. Yes, this is what you call as array of objects. This object is at 0th index, this object it has first index, and this object is at second index. Just like you in an array you can have three strings, just like in an array you can have three numbers, just like that you can also have three objects inside a single array. Is that clear? Now then, guys, students is the name of the array. So how do you access the first element, everyone? How do you access the first element of an array? Array name of 0, right? Let's do that. Console.log students of 0, and this will give me the first element. Let's see. And the first element is a whole object. The first element is not a normal data now. The first element is a whole object. So that means student of 0 is giving you this whole object. And now if we want to access any property inside that object, no issues, because this thing is giving you this object. So you can just go ahead and just put dot name. So student of 0 dot name, Saurabh, because student of 0 is the first object, and I got its name. If I want the second object's name, second object is at place number 1, index number 1. So student of 1 dot name, like that. Just like that, print all the names. 1 dot name, 2 dot name. And here we go. See that, guys? And now let's get back to normal, guys. We have an array with similar kind of data, okay? And we want to print names of all of the objects, and we are writing the code 3 times. That means, what if I have 10 objects? Am I going to write it 10 times? What if I have 20 objects? Am I going to write it 20 times? No, because few minutes back we learned something called as arrays, and we saw that if I want to access of elements of all the arrays one by one, instead of writing it again and again, I can do it via loop. So in the same case, you can see this code is similar, right? Student of 0 dot name, students of 1 dot name, students of 2 dot name. The only thing that is changing is this 0, 1, 2. So exactly, I can simply go ahead and apply for at I equals 0, I is less than equals to I plus plus. And I can write console.log students of I, that means either 0 or 1 or 2 dot name. Now you don't need this, and you'll see the output is same. Just like that, instead of 2, you can just write less than students, that is your array, dot length. Now guys, you saw that students is an array of 3 objects. Guys, understand, an array can store anything. An array can store number, an array can see. Very important stuff, guys. I'll tell you why a lot of people get confused in objects and arrays. It's because when people use them like this, what they do is they try to learn 3 concepts. They try to learn objects, they try to learn arrays, and then they again try to learn array of objects. Don't do that. Array of objects is not a concept. It should be, you should understand arrays clearly, you should understand objects clearly and separately. Don't mix both of them. Just remember this. Just like you can use numbers in arrays, just like you can use strings in arrays, just like you can use booleans in arrays, you can also put objects in arrays. Doesn't matter, doesn't change a thing. That's why people get confused. They think arrays, objects, and array of objects are 3 different things. Don't do that. Learn array. Array is collection of element of same type. I can apply a loop. No matter what kind of array it is, I can apply a loop and print all the values. Object is a collection of properties, and to access, I have to get the object and dot any property. And if I want, I can also store all my objects in an array, and the functionality still remains the same. You have objects in array, doesn't matter. String, number, object, I don't care. I want to apply a loop, fine. I equals 0, I is less than students of length. Fine then. I know that students of I is going to give me an object, 3 objects. Now I know that students of I is giving me object, and I want to access either name or roll number. So no issues then. Dot name. That's it. This will make it forever simple for you. Is that, sir, what if we are trying to? Yes, definitely. Just write one more console.log. Why not? Student of I.age. Do we have age? I don't know. I don't think we have age, right? Or we have city. Let's put city here. We go. You can also put this in one line. Like we learned on the first day, right? Concatenation, guys. So plus, give a space in between, plus students of I dot city. Now I'll see Tora, Mumbai, Utpal, Raipur, Hemant, Pune. But arrays have fixed size. Can we implement this by creating a class? Arrays don't have fixed size, Chetan, not in JavaScript. In all the other languages, you have to give a fixed size. Here, we have not given any fixed size to that. First of all, you have 2 questions there. Can we create class? Yes, definitely you can create class in JavaScript. But do we need here? No. Classes are not for working with arrays. They are not going to solve anything for you in the array case. Classes are used to create references for objects. They are not going to do anything in the array case. Even if you create a class and create 10 objects, you still have to store it in an array. So classes are not the solution for array sizing. Is that clear, Chetan? Okay. And in JavaScript, arrays don't have fixed size. You create array, you pass n number of elements, because you can see when we create array, we don't give any size to it. Just pass n number of values, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever values you want. Is that clear, Chetan? So here you don't have fixed size. First thing, first answer. Second answer, classes are not going to solve anything for you in the case of array size, right? Because even if you create a class, you still have to create an object. And if you are creating multiple objects, you have to create an array. If you're using JS, no need of size. But if you're using Java, or if you're using, what do you say, C++, you have to go for size. Is that cleared? Gautam, yes, classes are helpful in CSS, but that class, a CSS class, and object oriented programming class is a different. Both of them kind of mean same in some ways, but they are totally different working wise. So that is a different class, Gautam. CSS class is different, and object oriented programming class is different. So everyone, are we cleared with arrays, objects, and array of objects? Everyone, now you know, right, how to create it, guys? Okay, I hope now, from now on, you will never fear array object or array of objects. You're ready, because this is one of the most important things to learn. So I hope we are clear. So we can use inheritance also. Yes, Kulkarni, Kalpesh, but not here, because we are not doing object oriented programming. See, in all the other languages, you don't create objects directly. Like in Java, in C Sharp, you create a class and then you create an object. JavaScript is one language that provides you a way of directly creating objects without any class. See, guys, class is just a reference. For all the people who don't know, class is just a reference. Okay. So in all the other languages, you have to create class if you want to create object. JS allows you to directly create objects. I don't need class. Define your object, put all the properties. That's it. Okay. Now then, let's move ahead to the last topic for today. Okay, that is very, very important. And again, guys, just as we say always, very, very easy. Okay. So let's go. I'll tell you what is JSON. Don't worry. You'll be surprised how easy JSON is, because it is derived from JavaScript only. It is derived. Can we push object into it? Yes, Sumit Kumar. Yes, completely fine. Yes, you can push it. If you know how to, yes, you can definitely push it. Okay. Now then, last topic for today. Is there any difference between object and function? Yes, they are completely different, Rohin. Completely different. Let me show you. You saw function, you saw object, right? You saw object, how it works. Now let's go ahead. Let me show you function. You'll definitely understand what is the difference. But they are completely different. Yes. You say teaching different loops, sir. Yes, don't worry. But for that, we need to learn functions, right? First, then I can show you what map, because map is a function. For each is a function. So first, you have to understand what is a function, so that we can understand what is map and for each, right? So guys, let's move ahead to the last topic for today. That is going to be function or functions. Function. Okay. So again, it's not only with JavaScript, it's available in all the languages. So what exactly is a function, guys? Just keep calm and just listen to me first. A function, yes, Kalpesh, now you'll know what is log. Don't worry, just give me 2 minutes more. You'll understand, you'll definitely know what is log now. Okay, don't worry. So guys, what is a function? A function in a programming language is nothing but a block of code which may or may not have a name. Mostly it has a name. So a function is nothing but a block of code. A function is nothing but a block of code that you can give name, and then afterwards you can use that block of code anywhere you want. A function is nothing but a block of code, a collection of set of instructions. You give it a name, and then you can use it anywhere you want. And understand, guys, a function never executes itself. A function is a block of code which never executes itself. Then you can use it anywhere you want. It's like creating a package and keeping it. Let's say you're writing. Now, let me give you an example, guys. Focus, everyone. You'll understand. I know definitions are always tricky, and you cannot understand everything by definition. That's why I've got you with examples. Don't worry. Just give me 1 minute. Now, let's say, guys, please focus, everyone. Just for 2 minutes, guys. Please focus. Okay, let's focus, guys. So let's say you're writing a lot of code. Okay, giving you basic example. So I'm writing a lot of code of 1000, 2000 lines. And now in that 2000 lines, there is a particular 4 to 5 lines of code, or let's say there is a code of adding two numbers. Just think. Okay, let's say there is a code of getting the current coordinate of a person from satellite. That I'm using 20 times. So there is a 4 line code. There is a 4 line code of getting a person's coordinate from satellite. Okay. And in my program of 2000 lines of code, I am using that 4 lines of code around 20 times. That means I'm writing that 4 lines 20 times again and again, even though I know that is the same code I need again and again. Right? So I see that these are the 4 lines of code that I'm actually using again and again everywhere. And I'm writing that 4 lines. Now it can be also 400 lines in future. So I'm going to write 400 lines again and again. So rather than writing that 400 lines again and again, what I can do is I understood that, okay, fine, these are 400 lines that I'm using again and again. So what I can do is I can write those 400 lines somewhere else, and then I can, let's say, give a name to that block. I can create a block separately. I can write those 400 lines, and then I can give it a name like, let's say, get name, something like this. And now, instead of writing that block wherever I need this 400 lines of code, I'm not going to write the code. I'm simply going to call this name, get name. Why am I writing like this? Wherever I need it, I'm simply going to call that name, get name. And if I do it internally, all this code is executed here. And now wherever I want, I can write that get name, get name, get name. So if I want to use that 400 lines of code 20 times, I just have to write get name 20 times. I don't have to write 400 lines 20 times. Is it cleared? So functions basically give you reusability. Write code once and use it multiple times. They are saving time for you. Is it cleared, everyone? That's what function does basically. Okay, so function is nothing but a block of code which may or may not have a name. Okay, it does not execute by itself. You have to call it wherever you need it, and it provides you reusability. That's it. So everyone understood what is a function. So now let's see how to create a function in JavaScript. Guys, how to create a function. So today, third time in interview, I was asked about hosting. So today, don't worry, Utpal, I'll clear that doubt for you. Let's complete this today, and tomorrow, the first thing that is going to be, I'm going to explain you what exactly is that before starting with Dome. Okay, so let's go, guys. Let's see how to create a function in JavaScript. Very simple. You have to use a keyword called as function, and then you can give it any name. So let's say I'm going to give it a name like same, call it get name, anything. See, right now I'm not going to get coordinate of any person from satellite, but let's just call it get name. And then you have to pass rounded brackets, which are also called as parenthesis. It's very important. In front of a function name, this is always important. That's how the program knows that it's a function. Okay, so this is very important. Actually, that's not how it knows, but it's very important again. Okay, and then a block. Now inside that block, write whatever code you want, whatever code. In this, let's say we have a very, very important satellite code that is hello, I am from Interpol, just like that, some dummy stuff. Okay, that's it. So let's say this is very, very important 400 lines of code. Just assume it's actually a 1 line code. But yeah, now we'll see this console.log is not working directly. You'll see that. See, nothing is happening. See, guys, nothing is happening. You see, right? If I write something outside the function, it executes on the spot. You see that? But the code that is inside the function, it's not executing. That's what I said. Function code doesn't execute itself. To execute a code inside a function, you have to call that function. So if you want to call it wherever you want, just put that function name, and that's it. There we go. Hello, I'm from Interpol. And the best part is you can use it n number of times. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And I'm doing it in sequence, but you can do it anywhere in throughout your program at any point of time. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared with what exactly is a function? Now, Kalpesh, I'm giving your answer, buddy. So that console.log, this log is a function. Inside that log function, a code is written of printing something on this area. That code is not written by me. It's written by the creator of the browser and the JavaScript. Okay, but it's a function. And because it's a function, you can use it. So they have created that function for you and they have given to you. Fine, you please call this function if you want to print something here. Just like if I would like to tell you, like, fine, if you ever want to get data from Interpol, please call this function. So I'll create this function and I'll give it to you guys. Right? Launch it. Fine. Now you go ahead, call get name function, and you will get data of Interpol. Just like that. Log is nothing but a function, but it's provided by JavaScript. We have not created it. Is it cleared? So that's what a function is. Difference between normal function and arrow function. First of all, there is no difference. Like, arrow function is just a syntactical sugar. It's just a beautiful way of creating the function. That's it. It just gives you a beautiful way, a good looking way, a clean way of creating functions. But at the end, it's also function. So this function or arrow function doesn't matter. They are kind of same. There is only one difference, but that's a latter part. I'll explain you in some other lecture. Don't worry about that. Right now, it will become very complicated. But understand, guys, that normal function, arrow functions are 99% same. Arrow function is just a syntactical sugar, a good way, a clean way of creating functions. Okay, I can see someone is asking difference between arguments and parameters. So let me just take the last 2 minutes to do that. Now see, guys, you can also pass data inside the function from outside area where you're calling the function. You can also pass, understand my lines, guys. You can also pass data inside the function from wherever you're calling the function. For example, like if you want to do that, how will you do that? For that, you have to go in this parenthesis and create a variable. For example, I create a variable called as name. Now this variable can be only used inside the function, but the value of this variable can come from outside where it is getting called. Okay, so I can use this variable in here now. Hello, I'm from Interpol and my name is plus name. Now wherever, now if you create a variable inside the function parenthesis, inside the function brackets, you have to pass a value for it from wherever you're calling it. So from here, you have to pass some value. Like for example, I pass Saurabh. Now what will happen? Get name is called, this code will get executed, and this Saurabh will go in this name variable and that will be printed. If I have to show you, here we go. Hello, I'm from Interpol and my name is Saurabh. Now, this is what you call as parameter, and the value that you pass, so any variable that is inside the rounded brackets, that is inside the parenthesis, that is what you call as a parameter, and the value that you pass for that parameter is called as an argument. Is it cleared? So that's the difference between a parameter and an argument. Is it cleared, everyone? Project poll, Nagendra, we have done the project poll already, buddy, in the start only. Yes, there are packages. Yes, there are packages libraries, but not, they don't look quite similar to Java. But yeah, there are a lot of packages, and we can install them and use them. Yes, there are. Yes, Kalpesh. So everyone, are we cleared with functions as well? So that's it for today. Tomorrow when I start, first I'll teach you something called as for each. I'll explain the concept of hoisting because Utpal is asking that, and then we'll move ahead to the concept of DOM. That is very important to learn so that we can make the project that we want to learn afterwards on the 5th day. Okay, everyone. So guys, that's it. That's it for today. We learned for loop, we learned arrays, we learned objects, and we have learned functions. All the basics, but yes, now we know at least what are they and how to work with them. So yep, guys, that's it. That's it. I know I want to, like, even I want to go a little more deeper in stuff, but we are time limited, we are time bound. So yes, we are done. So now guys, before I end it today, let me announce the quiz winner. The quiz winner from yesterday's session. And I think the winner is Sanjay Raj. Okay. The winner name is Sanjay Raj. Okay, let me just get back. So congratulations, Sanjay Raj. Please attempt the quiz today as well. You might again win. And all of you guys also, please go ahead and attend the quiz today. It will be live in some minutes. Go ahead, attend it, and you can also win a 500 rupees Amazon coupon. So congratulations, Sanjay, on winning the 500 rupees Amazon coupon. And I hope for you to like you should win more. And all the other guys also, please try and try to win it. Try to take it home. And also, guys, as you know, that this is only essential session. That means I'm only giving you training for 5 days of all the basics of JavaScript. But if you also want to learn more about all these stuff, like because we are time bound, we are only doing limited stuff. But if you want to learn about this in a more detailed way, in a more what do you say deep manner, everything about JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, Node, everything with 15 plus projects like Netflix clone and what do you say Instagram clone, all of that. If you want to become a complete full stack developer in 6 months, you can join our full stack PGP course. So for that, just go ahead to letsupgrade.in. Okay, and the link is also in the description of the video. Just go ahead there, see if you're interested in the course, and just go ahead. And if you want, you can also enroll it. I'll be one of the teachers there, and there are a lot of really, really good trainers around us that are going to teach you. So if you're interested, go ahead and become a full stack developer as soon as possible. Completely job ready, completely ready, actually not just job ready, completely ready to create anything that comes in your way. Anything like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter of your own, anything like that, or any site that you want to create. Okay, so that's it, guys. Okay, a quick overview on array. Array is a collection of elements of same type, like this. It helps you to store multiple values at one place so that it's easily shareable and readable. So that's what an array is. It's a collection of elements of same type. So we learned arrays, we learned objects, we have seen how to work with arrays of objects, and we have also seen functions today. And tomorrow when we meet, we'll start with first Utpal's doubt. And what was one more thing? I think it was, yes, I'll explain the return keyword. A lot of people are asking for return keyword. I'll explain the return keyword. You can see that all that stuff, fee structure and all that stuff there, don't worry. And it's, if you compare it us with anyone else, you'll find out that how affordable we are as compared to all the other things or all the other whatever is there. Okay, just go ahead and find out that, or don't worry, you can also contact us directly. So in the Telegram group, you can directly go ahead and chat with Prasad and ask all your doubts related to the course, related to anything. Okay, and trust me guys, it will be amazing. Okay, other than that, if you're completely fine, you can also keep enjoying the essentials, because this essential will go till Friday, and after that again from Monday, I'm starting HTML and CSS essentials. So please be there for that as well, because we'll learn designing in a really cool manner. So HTML, CSS, and we'll see how to create web pages there as well. Okay. So I'll see the project voting, because today in the start only we did the poll. So I'll see the project voting, and after that I'll decide what to create. So I'll announce what are we going to make tomorrow, because I think I've already got the voting results. So I'll announce it. Quiz is in the Telegram link. So this Telegram link is in the description of the video. Head over to that, click on that link, join the group, and play the quiz and win a 500 rupees Amazon coupon. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. You were great today, and I hope to see all of you tomorrow and see if we can touch 500. Today I think we touched 450. So tomorrow I want to touch 500. Please share it with all the people, all the friends around you, so that they can also learn. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you enjoyed or not. That's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 6:30. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye. Good night.